In this video, we're going to get started with the sketching tool in PTC Creo and get familiar with different entities available for us. The first step is to set your working directory properly, as we discussed before. So I'm going to do that now. The next step is to create your file. There are different types you can choose from, and although the goal of this video is to sketch, that's not what I'm going to select. I'm going to choose part, because most, if not all, of the sketches you will make will contribute to a three-dimensional part. For the file name, please do not opt for the default name as suggested here. Please put a name that makes sense and can be easily recognized later. At this point, I can either opt for the default template where the units are inches and pounds, or I can uncheck this and let Creo show me a list of available templates. You can choose from this list, but I'm going to opt in for inches and pounds. To start a sketch, there are a few options available. One is to choose the sketch tool up here. This pop-up window asks you for a plane that you would like to put your sketch on. So I can either select the plane in the graphics window here or in the model tree. The second option is you can choose the plane directly. For instance, I can choose the front plane here, and you can see this in this pop-up window is the sketch icon. Now I can use the line tool and use the left click button to draw on my front plane. As you can see, it's not very informative or clear to see a two-dimensional sketch in a three-dimensional view. Right now we have a trimetric view, but it would be nice if we had an orthographic view of the plane that we're putting our sketch on. You might want to choose the plane we're working with from the saved orientations to show you a better view of where you're working, but I would actually recommend using this button right here, which is the sketch view. This will show you the orthographic view of the plane that you're actively sketching on. I want to take a moment and talk about the role of different mouse buttons. With the left mouse button, I can select a tool, such as the corner rectangle, and click where I want to start, and click again where I want to end. As long as I haven't done anything else, this entity is still selected, and I can go ahead and draw more rectangles. If I'm ready to move on to another tool, and I'm done with the corner rectangle, you can click the right mouse button and select another sketch tool, such as the circle. And I can also select another tool up top. Another way to get out of this entity is to use the select button up here. I can click the middle mouse button, or I can hit escape on my keyboard. Once I do that, all the dimensions and constraints pop up and I can adjust and modify them. So if I want this to be 100, or I want this to be 80. I'm going to have a separate tutorial video on dimensions and constraints. The next thing that I would like to discuss is the sketching palette to make sure that you're familiar with different sketching tools available for you. I've already shown you the lines, rectangles, and circles, but I'd like to bring your attention to the palette, which has some predefined shapes in it. If you have a design in mind where you may need one of these shapes, you don't need to sketch it from scratch. You can just click on it and drag it and drop it onto your sketching plane. So I want the hexagon. I'm going to click and drag it over here. I can adjust the size by using this little arrow, typing the radius I want right next to it, or typing it up top here. You can also adjust the angle by using this arrow here, or typing my desired angle up top as well. We can also browse through profiles, shapes, and stars. You can use these in a similar way as well.